Okay, the last lesson, 103, more on rational equations. Rational means fractions. So this is a fraction, equations with fractions in them. Rational means you can write it as a fraction. Irrational means you cannot write it as fractions. Just keep that in mind. Like things like pi, square root of 3. These are irrational because the decimal version of these numbers go on and on forever without repeating. Fractions, even though we do pi, we write it as a fraction at times, or we say 3.14, we're always cutting it off. It really can't be written as a proper fraction. But anyway, I digressed. What we want to do is, we've done problems, equations with fractions, and you know what we do is we get rid of our fractions. So we're just going to do the same thing, only the problems are going to be more complicated. So what you do, if it's an equation, we can get rid of the fractions. If it were just an expression, like y plus 2 plus 1/4, we would have to find ourselves a common denominator and get an answer like that. But if it's an equation, if there's an equal sign, we can actually eliminate the fractions by multiplying every term by the lowest common denominator. So the lowest common denominator here is, what will 2, 4, and 6 all go into? They all go into 12. So we multiply every term by 12. And what happens is the denominators divide evenly into the lowest common denominator, so we lose them. 2 goes into 12 6 times, we get 6y. 4 goes into 12 3 times, so we get 3. And 6 goes into 12 2 times, so we get 2y. Very simple equation now. We'll subtract 2y from both sides. Put the y's on one side and the numbers on the other. We could subtract the 3 at the same time if we wanted to. So these are going to cross out, these are going to cross out. We get 4y equals -3. Divide both sides by 4. And we get y equals -3/4. That one was easy. I just whipped right through that. We're going to get to some tougher ones in a minute. Okay, here's another one. The lowest common denominator is what all of the denominators will go into. So we need 3 for this guy, and a t for this guy, and a 3t for the third guy. Multiply everybody by 3t. This lesson is nice because it's in progression, so we're going to do one hard thing and then add something else to it until we get all the combinations taken care of. So we're going to multiply everything by 3t. 3t times this guy. If it's a binomial, you need parentheses or else you might forget to distribute. That's what's hard in this problem. This guy by 3t and the last guy by 3t. As long as you multiply everything by something in an equation, it keeps the equation balanced. So the t's cross out here, so we get 3t minus 6 equals 14 minus t. And we have ourselves a very simple equation once again. So I'm going to add t to both sides and add 6 to both sides. So we get 4t, these cross out, equals did I make a mistake on that one? 4t equals, nope, we're good, equals 20. And we divide both sides by 4, and you get t equals 5. The trick on this one was make sure you distribute when you have a binomial. Okay, next one. I'm trying to go rather quickly because there are 6 problems to do in this lesson. Okay, least common denominator is, we need the 5, and we need an n plus 2. These are both prime, they can't be factored anymore, so we need one of each. So I'm going to multiply this guy by 5 times n plus 2, and this one times 5 times n plus 2. And ideally, we should multiply this one by 5 times n plus 2, because we have to multiply everything by that. Now 0 times anything is 0, so that just ends up being 0. The n plus 2's cancel, so we get 5n. The 5's cancel. Now here's the tricky part. You have this -3 here. It has to go multiply times both members of the binomial. -3n minus 6. You need to distribute that. Don't just take the 3 times this and then a 3 times this one. It's really a -3. So we get 2n equals 6. If I add 6 to both sides, divide both sides by 2, n equals 3. And I'm going to show you a quicker way to do this problem. You can do it either way on your homework. I'm going to add 3/5. Starting from this problem, I'm going to leave the n over n plus 2 on that side, and I'm going to add the 3/5 to this side. When you have a fraction equal to a fraction, you can cross multiply. So I'm going to take this times this and get 5n, and then 3 times n plus 2, I'm going to get 3n plus 6. I'm doing this really quickly. Subtract 3n, we get 2n equals 6, n equals 3. I think that was a little bit faster, but you can do it however you want. And these videos are on YouTube if you want to go back and look at them closer to when you do the lessons. Okay, same thing as the last problem. Actually, these next two are the same thing. Let's stop the video and try this either way, and we'll see how you do. Okay, let's see how you do. I'm going to do it the way they're teaching in this lesson. 3n times n plus 4 is our lowest common denominator. I'm going to multiply everything by that. So 3n times n plus 4, 3n times n plus 4, and 3n times n plus 4. The 3 n's cross out. Now distribute the 2. 2n plus 8 minus 6n squared. Yikes. I had you do this one on your own. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Actually, I forgot to cross things out. Never mind. We do get into quadratic equations later, but not today. Okay, these cross out. Back to this is easy. Minus 6n equals 0. So we get negative 4n, or we can just plus 8 equals 0. We could say 8 equals 4n. If we add that to both sides, divide, and we get n equals 2. Alright, let's do the next one. You can try this one on your own as well. Just be careful with this negative sign. It will get you if you don't watch out. Okay, I'm going to stop the video. Try it now. Okay, least common denominator is x times x minus 2. So everything times x minus 2. X times x minus 2. X times x minus 2. Now, be careful with this common denominator. You can't just say your common denominator is x minus 2 because x does not divide into x minus 2. Remember this? That is a big fat illegal. Big fat illegal. Bad. Okay, so let's do this problem. The x's cross out. 4x minus 8 minus, these cross out, minus 7x, that one wasn't so bad, equals 0. Minus 3x equals 8. X equals 8 thirds. Minus. Okay, you could have done it the other way. 4 over x equals 7 over x minus 2. I just added this whole thing to the other side. Now I'm going to cross multiply. 4x minus 8 equals 7x. Subtract. I'm going to subtract 4x, so I get negative 8 equals 3x. X equals negative 8 thirds. So it works both ways. And our last problem, go ahead and give it a try, and we'll see if you get it. So I'm going to stop the video and try it. Okay, here we go again. Common denominator is p times, I guess I just want to make sure you really got these, all these examples. So p times p minus 4. P times p minus 4. P's cross out. 4p minus 16. Make sure you don't say 8. The p minus 4's cross out again. And we get minus 3 times p, or 3p, equals 0. I'm taking this times p minus 4, just trying to get in good habits here. So we get p equals this and this would be p, and I'm going to add 16 equals 16. You can always check these by putting them back into the equation and seeing if it works. Like 4 over 16 equals minus 3 over 16 minus 4 equals 0. Hopefully this all works out. So we get 1/4 minus 3 over 12. Guess what that is? 1/4 does in fact equal 0. So that's it for our lessons today, and that's it for lesson 103.